We set it off with Ruff Ryders compilation Volume 1 on Interscope to introduce the brand.
What? Hey, yo, if you gon'
Now we're getting a little taste of drag.
I'll be the DRAG-ON/often, comma. It's often, they call me Drag On.
The locks.
You listen to y'all hits, then listen to our hits. Ain't nothing y'all cowards could do. Gossip.
And then E.
What you want? QD staring at me like, damn, where you from? You be coming at me like, can I get some? Lick your lips for this brown sugar.
The compilation was my coming out party to the world. It was like, here's my little girl.
You can tell from the energy and from the temperature of what was going on within the label and how Joaquin wanted to push her and Dee wanted to push her, but she was up next.
I grew up in Philly. I'm from Philly. I am forever a Philly chick. My mom had me really young. My mom had me at 17. She was a single mom. My mom is everything. I call my mom my rock. She taught me how to be fiercely independent.
She was not a follower. She was more the person that the activity centered around.
I always wanted to perform.
First time Eve began rapping was with the Dope Girl Posse.
DGP was the first group when I was like 11, 12. And then Egypt was myself and another girl through high school.
I'm what they call an enigma, cause your brain can't figure what I'm trying to give you. The more you try, the more my style will hit you.
I was a battle rapper. I wanted to go up against all the guys in every cypher on every corner. Like, I've always been a tomboy.
I did what I had to do. I proved to y'all. Females can do what males can do, only better.
Hip-hop for me was Latifah, MC Lyte, Salt and Pepper, the sexiness that they brought to it, but they still had that guy swag. I never wanted to just be good for a girl. That always bothered me when people were like, you know, you're good for a girl. I used to hate that.
I first met Eve when she was about 16 years old. What stood out to me about Eve was this level of confidence and attitude. I could clearly see that she was talented, but, you know, at 16 years old, you know, I don't know if she was actually ready.
Kind of got to that place where I was like, this is never gonna happen. I thought I'd be signed by the time I got out of high school. And I kind of was on the verge of quitting. Like, I was like, I'm over it, I'm done. And I need to make money. And I met a group of girls who used to strip. And I started seeing how much money they would make. And I was like, I could try it. Now, let's be very clear. I've talked about this many times about going into the stripping world. It was 2 months and I was the laziest stripper around. I would literally say, look, I could give you a lap dance, but I'm better at rapping. One night, Mace came walking in. I didn't even know who he was. He was asking my name. I'm like giving up fake names or whatever. And he's like, no, I know you're not supposed to be here. He's like, what do you want to do? And I was like, I rap. And he was like, let me hear you rap. And he did, and he was like, yeah. He's like, if that's what you're trying to do, you shouldn't be here.
Oh, John, you handed me the mic.
And I never went back, and I got focused. My manager called me and was like, this guy, Mike Lynn, is coming into Philly. He works with Dre. He's Dre's right-hand man. Do you want to audition for him?
Eve, as soon as she walked in, she didn't have the fetish wear. She didn't have any of that. She was flat, broke, and you could still see it.
One of the guys pulls out a radio, and I put a tape in, and it was basically a tape of one of the beats I used to rap over. And I started rapping.
She gave me one verse and a hook, and I told her, that's it. I don't need to hear any more. You basically have 2 weeks, get your bags packed, you're coming back to LA.
I went from being at home at my mom's house to flight to LA so that I could record a demo to play to Dre. And I will never forget, after I recorded this demo, Dre heard it and was like, let's make a deal. And I was signed to Dre.
In the beginning, she worked with Dr. Dre in the studio. And then all of a sudden, there was nothing going on. She was sitting there waiting for him to work with her again.
I mean, I remember when I was working with Dre that Eminem did get signed.
There's nobody out there that's even close to what he's doing.
So I would literally show up to studio sessions that I wasn't supposed to be at, where I knew Dre was gonna be, and be like, so when am I recording? When are you gonna put me on a song? What's going on? And I think he got sick of that. And And then I got dropped 8 months later. It wasn't too long after Eminem was signed, I got dropped from Aftermath. And I was devastated. I had to go back home. I had to go back to my mom's house. I had to get back on the bus. All these people who came to my going away party are now like, oh, so you're back. That was fast. So it humbled me.
I know that Dre always believed in her. I always believed in her. And I always looking for something, for a spot for her to help her make the record that she wanted to make. And we talked to Dre. He said, you know what? I'm doing a lot of things. He just said, I'm not going to get to this right away. I said, what about bringing it with the Ruff Ryders?
I'm home. I get this call from my manager at the time, like, yo, we got to go to Yonkers. We go to Powerhouse, and I'm walking up in the studio with all these guys. There was Wa, there was D. I mean, everybody was there.
Everybody had to battle to become a Ruff Ryder. You're gonna be very uncomfortable or you're gonna be comfortable.
She came in with a hunger in her eyes. She showed no fear.
I was definitely scared, but I was definitely like, this is my chance.
I spit, she go right back. I spit, she go right back.
The thing that make it unique, that shit was raw and had the Philly accent. That shit was dope. So when I come back up, I'm like, oh shit, she's nasty.
She called herself a pit bull in a skirt. That's who she was.
I was like, okay, she's something different.
Eve had a lot of confidence.
She passed the test, and Eve became our first lady.
If I don't want to smack the shit out of one of y'all stupid ass rap, Eve will.
I will. I'm smashing them. I'm trying to crush them. And I'm a problem for all of them.
I was the first lady of Ruff Ryders, so it was important for me that they saw that I am going to hustle the way you guys hustle, period. Do not separate me, and they didn't.
Eve's whole presence says, I'm a star. Eve's whole presence says, I'm never gonna fail.
Eve was like a breath of fresh air because there was so much testosterone at Powerhouse. It was all men.
Well, the next one, same energy, Eve, all the way through. You got it.
Every song came from my life. It was like a narrative of what I've been living.
You got a scenario beat.
You know the beat. I'll let you do the bounce joint solo.
Swiss would make a beat, then I'd start writing the lyrics.
See, working with Eve, for me, was my first real challenge, because it's a female artist, and how do you not make it soft, but still represent her strength? I really took a lot of time studying her and just listening to her story.
Picture everything when you come in the club, you know what I'm saying? And that's how you kill a song like this. Eve gonna come in, walk by the bar, to the VIP, you know, it's like the whole club feeling.
My Uncle D was coaching her as well.
Y was like the business. D was with the artist.
Carry your own, you know what I'm saying? It's not like you need help.
Y is the brain, and D was the heart.
D was great at allowing me to be who I felt like I needed to be as far as expressing myself as an artist.
Now, you did good all the way up to that end right there. But you want to do it from the top, cut? You gotta just be right on top of it. Your music is supposed to be what you go through and things that you've done or seen. Your album is your experiences.
Hey yo, I don't even know you and I hate you. See, all I know is that my girlfriend used to date you. How would you feel if she held you down and raped you? Tried and tried, but she never could escape you.
You know, Love is Blind was actually a poem I wrote at 16 about a friend of mine who was dating a 35-year-old man who used to beat her.
That's real deep. Millions and millions and millions of women go through that.
At that time, female artists weren't coming out making PSAs about abuse. It was very bold of her to do that.
Roll playback.
I don't even know you and I want you. Don't know the facts, but I saw the blood pour from her head. See, I lay down beside her in the hospital bed, and about 2 hours later, doctor said she was dead.
Coming out of the Foxy Kim era, who had this raunchy side, and they weren't afraid to put it out there. Eve was like, no, I'm gonna talk about female issues.
Eve definitely speaks out for women in a way that most don't.
She wanted to be respected, and she wanted women to be respected.
What you think is love is truly not. You need to elevate and find this line.
I didn't even know at the time that I was doing anything other than expressing myself.
Just by the nature of her being a woman, it allowed her to come in and give different voice to Ruff Ryders, which could expand our base.
Mike got you like that. Ooh.
You see this right here?
The princess cut. What?